Hi, everybody. I am Kara Medico, co-creator of Kids Art Projects 101. I am so excited to be checking in with you today as we transition between years 3 and 4 in our program. Welcome to our newcomers, and thanks to everybody for your faith in our program's ability to meet your needs. The purpose of this video is just to give you an overview of everything you have access to as a member at this point and everything you can expect from your membership in the year ahead. So let's just dive right in. You have a library that you should definitely take advantage of. There are 52 process art lessons in that library. They're divided by category. There's a painting category, a sculpture category, a printmaking category, and a mixed media category. Each lesson in those categories has variations: how to simplify the lesson, how to enrich the lesson, how to extend the lesson, academic connections. They're really comprehensive. So I definitely recommend you check those out. If you're not familiar with process art in the first place, it's the kind of art that is all about the process. You don't start with an end goal in mind. You don't have targeted, things that you're trying to achieve in those lessons. It's all about exploration and experimentation with materials. They're great for real little guys, ages 4 to 6. They can be very useful for a lot of kids with varying exceptionalities, but they're also really great for kids of all ages, adults included. They're just fun in the moment type of approaches to making art. So just beware, you have access to those. There are also song posters in our library. There's 40 of them, and they are the types of songs that I love to bring in to a special use at the very beginning of the year with kindergarten and first graders. They're good for reinforcing routines and kind of behavioral expectations during transitions and that kind of stuff. It really is aligned with that whole brain approach to student engagement, and the kids love them. So if you haven't tapped into our song section yet, check that out. There's also a full calendar of doodle prompts in our library. Doodle prompts are things that are just intended to give kids ideas about what to draw. So it might be draw things that start with the letter M, or draw things that are pink, or draw things that are cold. So they're just idea starters. And they're organized by month. So if you opened up the August month, you'll see the equivalent of one prompt per day on that sheet. So in our entire resource, you have 365 prompts because they're done by month for the whole year. You have a whole year set. I plan this year to share a little bit more about how I use those doodle prompts in my classroom, just to give you a heads up. But that's a resource you can just kind of take and run with if you want to. Another thing that you have access to in our library is there are some resources that are designed to help you save time and stay organized. One of them is called a well-stocked art room, and that one is an editable document that you can kind of keep as a working document. It is designed to help you keep tabs on inventory related issues for your space. So, you can keep tabs on, okay, I'm running really low on blue paint, or I need more green construction paper, or my glue sticks are running low. Or please remember not to order any more, yellow markers. I have an abundance of those, stuff like that. The task of keeping up an art room inventory is such a unique and humongous task, and because we have such limited budgets in most cases, I find this tool really, really useful so that I can make sure I'm spending what little money I have in very deliberate ways. Okay, so there's an art show survival packet in that section, and that includes editable resources relating to putting together an art show, whether it is communicating with parents that an art show is coming up, or labeling artwork or giving a child a printable certificate that because their artwork was included in a show. All of that stuff is yours to play around with if you want to. There's an art supply alphabet, which is more like a display resource that you can put in your room. Great for little guys especially, who are learning, what certain supplies are in the art space. And then perhaps the most substantial resource in our library is our Famous Artists series. And that's a series of units, instructional units that are designed to take 3 to 4 sessions of like 40 minutes each. They each focus on a famous artist, and they each involve a studio project, but then they have all this other stuff in them too. There's a scripted storybook. There are printables. There's a guide for art shows. There's like in-class art shows or art critiques, reflection, self-assessment. Just those are really comprehensive scripted units where you just open them and go. We have 21 of those at the moment related to famous artists. There are 2 that are really part of a clay series, with a third clay series, a third unit being added to the clay series this coming month. So once that one is released, you'll have 24 units that really take you through all of the instruction resources I use to get through pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade. If you include the process art stuff, you've got 3 full years worth of instructional resources ready to go. This year, I plan to continue to add to that collection with my second grade units, and they're going to be a continuation of the Famous Artist series, but they're this year's going to have a focus. They're all nature-based famous artists. There'll still be famous artists, but artists whose artwork is specifically inspired by nature. So that is something you can expect. That series is going to continue to grow, and with each of those, just like the ones that are in there, you'll have not only the slideshow, but you also have a digital resource and a video resource that are designed to kind of serve as overviews of the unit, because it's a lot to just sort of open up and dive in. So they're designed for that. But if you are the kind of person who wants to sort of get a sense of the layout of the whole unit in advance, you have a video that will guide you through that, or a digital, like just a document where you can kind of read through stuff if you prefer that format. So another thing that you can expect in the year ahead is I'm going to be releasing videos on YouTube, and they are read-alouds of the first component of every Famous Artist series unit. So if you have opened them before, you realize that you're familiar with the idea that there's a digital storybook, and as they currently work, you as the teacher walk kids through that you read the storybook. What I'm going to be offering this year is a read aloud version, meaning I'll read the storybook for you, and you can just hit play, and then you can go use just those couple minutes that buys you to set some things up physically in your classroom for the studio project to get started. So that I hope you will find useful. I know that it is always a little helpful just to have someone else take over, and I'm just literally reading it for you. So that's something you can expect to have access to in the year ahead with your membership. Another huge thing that I feel like I've been living and breathing for the last couple months here is an art teacher planner, and it's specifically designed for art teachers. I have been on the hunt for the perfect planner for years, but every time I find ones online, teacher planners made by other teachers, they're perfect for classroom teachers. They include resources like, RTI assessment. There's documents in there that we don't use as art teachers. So what I did was I developed one that is specific to art teacher needs. And as a member, you have access to that for free. It's editable. You could print it, you could leave it on your computer and just work with it digitally. You can expect to have access to that very soon. If you don't already have access to it, it's going to be coming out in the next week or two. So that's a huge one, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be releasing a video at the beginning of every month this year where I sort of talk through my month ahead. And if you want to join me on that journey, I'll be kind of using my planner to sort of guide everything and see what's coming up. So if you want to use the planner in the same way and kind of walk through some of those projects simultaneously, that could be kind of fun and useful to everybody involved. That is something you can expect. Another thing besides the monthly look aheads is that one of my goals for this year is to be a little more present on Instagram. So I'm planning to share at least one video a week, in some cases more maybe, from my classroom. Just little weekly updates of what I'm up to and the reality of how things are playing out in my environment. So I think that's everything. I would love to hear from you if you have any requests about some focal points for the year ahead. I'm all ears. If you have questions, reach out. Please don't ever hesitate to share pictures or brag on success stories. That's what this community is all about. And that is it. I wish you the best of luck as this year unfolds ahead of us. And please stay in touch. Okay, thanks so much for listening.